We're continuing our coverage of the Trimet Board of Directors, their response to the articulate and well-written public testimony of Opal members, Opal and other community members to the police state of Trimet. So we're going to listen to Mr. Prosser right now. And what we want you to know is that Mr. Prosser, let's read what he is. He's recently retired after 6 years as the City of Tigers city manager. During that time, he made major improvements to two key intersections funded by the city's local gas tax. He also oversaw the city's recent bond rating upgrade from A1 to A2. That means the banks loved him. A 2-level increase. Prosser has been in public service for more than 35 years. He's been the Tiger City manager. He was 6 years the finance director, 5-year financial forecast. He was also instrumental putting together a consortium of 24 Oregon cities to conduct the state's first audit of a utility franchise, recovering over $3 million for the cities. Okay, well, give him something for that, I guess. Prosser served 6 years as Metro's financial planning manager and supervising financial planning division. You know, so here we have another insider who will now be on the Trimet board, and he's gonna now offer this ridiculous defense of the police state budget. And so, just so you have the background, he's an insider. He's been an insider for 30 years. And he represents the special interests. Let's hear what he has to say. I did cover this in my board meeting coverage, but we're going to recover it because these testimonies are very fascinating to me, because what they prove is how the Trimet board is 180 degrees from the Trimet community. And the Trimet community is the people that operate the system and the people that use the system. They have nothing in common with either group of people. They represent some other, the technocrats. He has no concept of what it's like to operate the system or what it's like to ride the system.
First, I want to thank staff for all their hard work, having built public sector.
This guy is a proverbial slap on the back. You're doing a great job, Trimet staff. He's constantly complimenting the Trimet staff all the time. In every meeting, every presentation they do, he tells them what a wonderful job they did. Every one of them. There's never change. He's very repetitive with his compliments. And here he is again saying, you did a wonderful job. It's hard. Hey, look, they get a 6-figure income to come up with this shit. You don't have to compliment them. That's their goddamn job, Prosser.
Budgets for my entire career. I know how difficult it is and how time-consuming it is. The work of our finance folks, but also of our operating divisions, pulling the information together. It is a massive amount of work, and I really appreciate the work that you guys do, so thank you. I do want to say one thing, and Dr. Bethel mentioned in his comments something that I think is very important, and that is that if we see things that we don't understand, it's really important that we talk to each other to get clear information. Doesn't mean we're going to end up necessarily agreeing, but at least we're all working off the same information.
See, this is your standard government operating procedure. He's going to say here, and you'll see in a minute, but he's putting forth the premise that the Opal representatives have no idea what they're talking about. Okay, he's doing a Donald Trump. Okay, when you're going to criticize Trump, you have to criticize all the other people that use the same exact method as Trump. Those are the ones that say, this is the way it is, you're wrong, and I'm right. You're wrong, I'm right. There's no discussion on it. You people out here in the world are wrong. I'm right because I'm the technocrat, and I know what's right and you know what's wrong. That's what he's doing here. He's making this judgment that everybody that made those testimonies is working on wrong information. And he's the one that's the sock puppet here. And this is just important to understand that this board of directors is against you at all times. And this is the reason I'm doing these.
I want to say that there are no funds in this budget for a jail. None.
See what he's doing? He's reframing the discussion. I've already seen this, so I can comment ahead because I already watched this. I haven't, I've already seen this particular clip. He's saying there's no board, there's no money for jail. And listen, he's trying to tell everybody that this is important because what ends up happening, if you follow this material like me, what you'll read the media reports, and what the media does is they'll quote him exactly, and then they'll quote the Opal, but they'll give the Trimet board much more space in their quotes. So they put the Opal and then they put him. They give no context as to the argument. That you don't see the arguments like we're doing here. You see him, he says it's this way, and Opal says it's that way. So people that have no idea of what's going on, which is 95, 98, 99% of the community, look at the newspaper and say, oh, well, maybe Trimet's not so bad. He's trying to frame the opposite argument. And he'll get away with it because the media won't question it.
Trimet is not authorized to build or operate a jail. In this state, the state maintains the prisons. Those are for long-term incarceration, serious offenses. The counties operate the jails. So over there at the Justice Center, the top floors, that's where the jail is. Police offices in smaller cities and in Portland have the precincts have holding cells.
Or you see what he did? He's used semantics. It's a holding cell. It's not an actual jail. Well, we know they're not going to see the jail is down the road. We take them here first. We hold them here, and then we take them to the jail. It's an extension of the jail. It's an extension of the police state. It's the police state. Okay, and here he is trying to nitpick us on definitions. It's a goddamn prelude to jail. It's part of the police state function. And this is what drives me crazy with these people, is how they try to reframe everything and discount any kind of criticism. And it just drives me insane to have to listen to this shit.
Those are cells for temporary holding of people prior to booking. And it's to allow the officer to sit down and write the report so that they can take it with the person over to central booking, which in this case is in the Justice Center. The holding cells must be operated according to federal rules and regulations. One of those is that nobody can be put in a holding cell for longer than 24 hours. I talked with Harry Supporter this morning and asked how long people are typically put in the existing holding cells, because the facility we are replacing has 2 holding cells. The facility we will build will have 2 holding cells. And Harry told me that with his observation, people are in there for maybe an hour. Could be a little longer, a little less. So that is far different than a jail.
Once again, it's an adjunct of a jail. All right? These are fare evaders that are going. These are people who didn't pay $250. See, he doesn't get the fact that Trimet is running as part of this prison industrial complex, which is funneling citizens into this criminal justice system. And in this case, for a $2.50 fare, which is tyranny. It's totalitarian tyranny to do this to people that don't have $2.50. And all the people that get swept up are poor that don't actually have the $2.50. They never talk about that, never. It's a war on the poor. That's what it is. To call it anything else is lying.
And, I think all of this discussion, people have gotten upset, and I really understand why, that Trimet is trying to up enforcement, create more police.
There you go. He just said it. Trimet wants to enforce the fare. They want more people to be busted. They want to feed the prison industrial complex. Okay? He just said that. And then he stumbled on his words.
The system is growing and expanding, and that by itself will create the need for more police officers over time. The existing facility is undersized, cramped, has severe maintenance problems, and is not owned by Trimet. It's leased from the city of Portland. And it doesn't make a lot of sense for Trimet to invest capital money in that facility, which cannot be any larger than it is, to fix the maintenance problems. And so we are going to be...
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's believable. We can't invest capital money to fix it up. We're just going to get a whole new place that we have to completely refurbish, and we're going to take $11 million out of our budget, which could buy 22 new buses to do it. And then we're going to have all the other expenses involved with owning a property, which is the property taxes, the upkeep, all the repairs. You know, he's just an apologist for the Trimet people.
Building a new precinct in the Rose Quarter. It will be larger. There will be more room for officers as we grow over time. We're not going to all of a sudden have a military force come in and start riding our buses. It will have 2 holding cells. People will be held there very short term while paperwork is being processed. I've also heard a lot of concern that there will be interrogation rooms. The interrogation room is a conference room with a table and chairs. A little more secure. My experience at the...
Okay, there's 2 conference rooms with a table and chairs. The conference is going to be with the person who's going to jail. No, true. I mean, how much interrogation can you do with a fare evader? I mean, hey, you belong to ISIS? Are you part of ISIS? You didn't pay your fare so that you can spy on us? I mean, how much interrogation do you need? Why aren't they just using the police facilities is what I want to know. Why do we have... This is Portland, okay? The Portland cops provide protection to Portland businesses and Portland citizens and everything that goes through Portland, including Trimet. Why do Trimet need a whole separate precinct? Why don't they just use the Portland police facilities that they already have? That's the other question that's not answered. They've already got all these facilities. No, they don't use those because this is an opportunity to beef up the police state. Here, we're going to give the police state $10 million in operating funds to hire those cops that you never see anywhere when they're needed. Okay, never. They're never where you need them. We'll spend $10 million a year for that so that the city of Portland doesn't have to pay the $10 million. So they can beef up their police state on their end, and we'll build a building here so that the police state can expand on the transportation funds. You know, we're not all stupid, okay? We can see through your lies and your bullshit.
City of Tigard, which also has holding cells, which also has interrogation room, which is also a conference room. Their difference between a regular conference room and an interrogation room, in Tigard at least, was it had 2 separate entrances. It does have video and sound recording capabilities in it. But that's really it. So, unfortunately, I think we've had a lot of concern and people are upset. And, you know, when the concern first occurred to folks, if they would talk to staff, to Trimet, and make sure that we're working off the same information. You know, with that in mind, I will be supporting this because I think it is a needed facility. I think this is a good budget, and so I will intend on voting aye.
Of course he's going to support it. All of them are going to, they're going to do their sock puppet thing. There's never been a dissent. The only time there was any dissent on that board is when Lynn Learback, God rest his soul, was on the board, and he was thrown off by Kitzhaber because he was actually taking the side of union employees and riders. Of course you're going to support it. We know who you are. All your words are bullshit. We know who you are.